Welcome to Little Shits and Giggles, the podcast where we talk shit about our little shits. I'm Mama Chaos.
And I'm Jason Quinn. How are you
Let's
doing
get this.
today?
I'm doing surprisingly well for the day that I have had. Okay. My day from the time I got up until the time I went to bed has been absolutely fucking chaotic. Like, I, okay, so I woke up with baby powder all over the bathroom. I have no idea which child did it because both of my little ones were awake and nobody would admit to it.
Never.
Um, I have no idea how long my littlest one was awake with a pissy diaper because there were wet spots all over the couches and the chairs and the floor and the bed and me. Like somehow
Nice.
she got on my back. I woke up with like my back all wet. I don't know how that happened. And then my 2-year-old or my 4-year-old daughter the other day cuts her hair again, and I had to threaten her that I was going to shave her head, which I wouldn't because she's too cute. But like, I had to
They don't
threaten to
have to
shave
know
her
you're
head.
bluffing. They don't got to know
Uh,
you're bluffing.
Listen, I talk mad shit to my kids sometimes, all right. But I told her I was going to shave her head if she ever cut her hair again because this is a habit for her. Okay, she is a born hairdresser. She does really well. Like I initially cut her hair and I fucked up a piece, and she actually did it better. Like she one upped me on that one. So like I can't be too mad at her. That's why I'm not really gonna shave her head. But like if she like, buzzes half of her head one day, I'm not gonna have a choice. But
She was
then
like, "Mom, you missed a spot, and I fixed it for
I
you."
mean for real, like she literally fixed her own hair today. Or not today, but the other day. But today, right before bedtime, I decided to put them to bed early tonight because my 4-year-old spread butter all over the kitchen.
Fun.
Yeah, very fun, especially when it was my dad that found it and I hear, "Yeah," like, I'm like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And I run out there and my dad's like, "Where is your daughter?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what happened."
Right. You got this like look at death, like I don't know. Like I'm. He's like, "Where is her?" You're like, "I don't know. I don't know."
Like that look my dad had brought back memories from when I was a child and I almost pissed my pants, okay? I was terrified for my own child. Like I had no idea what she did, but I was terrified because that look, I will never forget that look.
You're like, "Look, I been there. I don't know what you did. I feel bad for you right now. But whatever you did, don't do that shit again. For sure, don't do that shit again."
I
Damn.
really hope she doesn't because my dad, I don't know how much more my dad can take because the daily shenanigans with my kids is getting outrageous. And normally they're good on like for them because they want to get away from me.
Right.
But right now my parents are living full time with their grandchildren and they're understanding why mommy is always losing her shit. You know what I mean? Like they get it now. And I feel like they want this to be a past tense sooner rather than later.
My I so we had like Thanksgiving had, kind of, so we just celebrated it, and we had a tournament, a Mario Kart tournament. Okay. My son beat me a long time ago in Mario Kart. Okay. And
Okay.
he beat me in Mario Kart because I fucking he started like crying before our match and like duped me into like going real fucking easy on him. Right. And
Oh,
I went real easy on him, and I just kind of like let it happen. So he's been talking shit for the last 6 years about his Mario Kart trophy, or no, 4 years for this Mario Kart trophy, because I got him a fucking trophy for it. I was a huge sucker. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, I is my first kid. It is my oldest kid. So like, let me preface. Oh, I
sucker.
was a huge sucker. So anyway, he's been talking shit for like 4 years about how good he is at Mario Kart and how he can beat my ass. Well, we did a Mario Kart tournament this Thanksgiving, and I beat the fuck out of him. I beat the fuck out of everybody in this house, and I beat the shit out of him so fucking
Fuck
bad.
yeah.
He was like, "That's not even." I'm like, "Look, motherfucker, I didn't use shit. I had half a course on you, bitch. I fucked your whole fucking life up in this fucking Mario Kart world. You don't even fucking like. You don't know. I am dad in this motherfucker. You don't tell. You don't. I am Mario Kart, bitch. That's where I was at this weekend. I was full on. And then I beat the then there was like my sister-in-law's new boyfriend was here for Thanksgiving and he was hyping up his game in Mario Kart and I beat that ass too. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't come into my house thinking you
Not
can
here.
beat me.
Not here. You know what I'm saying? I was up. I was all the way up. I was other than that, that's the positive end, you know. Then I had an argument over the week with my son who's he gets in this like meta argument phase, right? So he'll be like, I'll tell him like, hey, stop hitting your sister. And he's like, I wasn't hitting your sister. And I'm like, I saw you hitting your sister. Stop arguing with me. And then he'll be like, well, I wasn't arguing. And I'm like, well, you were like, you're arguing right now that you're not arguing. Stop telling me. And then I just get to a point where I don't even know how many times I've said arguing in the same sentence that I start like, it's like my brain starts to deteriorate. Like every fabric of like who I am is lost in how many times I've said the word arguing in like a 45 fucking second time period. And I'm like, I'm losing it. And like I can feel it. It's like my skin peels away. And I'm like, it's all going away. Like all of my sanity melts away. And then I walk away. And I don't know if in that moment I am defeated or what, but I hate every moment of that. I hate all of that.
Listen, that is probably the number one reason why I don't like children is that they will
Oh,
argue about arguing.
oh my God. It
They're
hurts.
such little assholes.
Oh, it hurts your soul. It hurts so deep. Like it's not even like you're like it cripples you. Oh, I hate it.
Listen, it's pretty funny that you said deep because I have an email.
I do not like where that's going, but let's use that transition.
All right. All right. It says, let me preface this story by saying that this is incredibly embarrassing for me to admit. But for the sake of your podcast, since I am such a big fan, I will suck it up and air what just happened to me as I was trying to assemble my wife's desk. So, as I previously mentioned, I was busy building my wife's desk. My sister in law was kind enough to keep the kids occupied in her bedroom while I was busy losing and re-losing the fucking Allen wrench. I understand
Been there.
that. After about 20 minutes, I hear my son start screaming, and my daughter and sister in law are laughing hysterically. I run out of the room to see what the commotion was all about, and I see my daughter holding my sister in law's suction cup dildo up against her ass, chasing her brother around with it, calling it a butt plunger, which I'm pretty sure is what my sister in law calls it too, but that's for a whole different reason, different story, different day. All right.
Oh
We'll get
my
into
God.
that another time. So let me just say that my son definitely was aware of what his sister was holding since he does have that appendage, but my daughter did not. My sister-in-law was laughing way too hard to take it away from her before she ran out of the door and the scene unfolded. I sure as hell wasn't going to take it and use my own hands to grab that thing out of my daughter's grasp. So I had to get my sister in law to stop laughing long enough to do the dirty work for me. So I stepped on her toes and shoved her out into the chaos. I learned a few lessons today, the least of which is never allow my children into my sister-in-law's bedroom ever again.
Oh my God. I mean, like it always happens where you come across like a fucking like your kids just happen across like you know you put up shit. You try to keep things out of the way, but kids always find every fucking thing that you don't want them to find. Oh, it is the fucking worst. It's just oh my
Yeah.
God, I can't even fucking imagine.
You remember that TikTok I had, right? About the the neighbor's dog finding my dildo outside after my children threw it out the window.
They threw
And
your dildo out the window. They're just like,
yeah, they threw it out the window like without me even knowing. And I just happened to look outside and see the neighbor's dog chewing on it. And as I go outside to like get the dog to stop chewing on my dildo, I've said dildo so many times on this podcast, but as I go out there to
As
stop the
one does.
dog, as I go out there to stop the dog from chewing on it, the dog starts barking, which causes the owners to open up their door right as soon as I grab the dildo. So they see me hovering over their tiny little dog with a dildo in my hand, like telling it, like, this is mine. And they like called the dog inside, and that was the only time I have ever made eye contact with my neighbors, my old neighbors at the time.
That is a beautiful situation. That is the worst thing ever. I can't imagine there's not a good person, like nobody in that scenario was having a good time. You know what I mean? You weren't having a good time. I mean, the dog probably was for a little bit. Like he had a little new, toy.
New chew toy,
Yeah, he
yeah.
was geeked. He was probably geeked for a little bit. And then the owner definitely was not having a good time. There's no part of that where he's like enjoying that moment. That
I
is
mean,
so bad.
if I saw that, I don't know if I would be laughing or if I would be calling the police
I
because
I think yeah, you really got to wonder, and it's got to like, and I've seen sometimes you look like a crazy person. If maybe he didn't know that you were the owner or you were living next door to him. Maybe he just thought you were a crazy person who had a dildo that was just walking around the
so
neighborhood luring dogs with dildos.
my hair was up, okay, like crazy hair, like all over the place.
Right?
And I was wearing a robe, a t-shirt, and some pair of weird pants that belonged to my youngest daughter, and I was barefoot. So, and we had a gravel lot that we lived on. So I was like, I looked like a hobbit crossing over because it was hurting my feet trying to get to this dog chewing on my dildo.
Yeah. Nah. See, that's yeah. He probably was like, oh, she's definitely yeah.
Yep.
Somebody knows about her. You know what I mean? Like he's like there's an established case on her somewhere. Somebody's monitoring that situation. I'm sure. Oh
uh,
man. So that was crazy. So we got a game this week. We're gonna play a game of what, two truths and a lie, right?
yes, sir.
Oh man, let's get into this. This is gonna be a fun time.
All right, who's going to go first?
Um, you know what? You go ahead and go first.
Me? Okay,
Go ahead.
Adam. My husband said that they were easy. So,
Okay.
uh, oh, this is two truths and a lie. Okay.
Two
My
truths and a
young,
lie.
okay. One, my youngest daughter had a blowout that went right up her back, over her head, down her face, and she was being swung by her baby swing. So the shit was going all over the house.
My God.
B, my middle daughter threatened to stab her older sister, and then hours later, we found a knife hidden under her older sister's bed. Or C, my youngest daughter has a collection of Barbie doll heads in a pillowcase next to her bed.
I think C's the lie.
It is the lie. Damn it.
I I I I I don't know. The swing, that sucks that that's a truth.
Yeah, it was like it's so nasty that it had to be true, you know? Like
That's
you
so
can't
gross.
make that shit up.
So gross.
All right,
All
your
right.
turn.
All right. So all of mine have themes, right? So we're going to start at the top. This is because that was a shit one. We're going to do the shit themed true truths and a lie.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I once missed an entire wedding while changing a blowout diaper. My daughter has woken up and finger painted with the contents of her diaper. And my kid woke me up by putting a dirty diaper on my face.
I'm gonna go with C.
C is the lie. Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Okay.
One for
Okay.
one. One for one. All right, let's go. So, all three of my children's first words were fuck. B, my middle child once ran into a wall so hard that she dented her forehead, got up like nothing happened, and continued to run around the house as if nothing ever happened. Not a tear once dropped. Or C,
You said your
my
middle child?
yes.
Okay, that seems viable. That's
Or
that seems viable.
C, my two youngest kids love scary movies. The more gory, the better. But my 9-year-old is terrified to be even that. My 9-year-old is terrified to even be in the same room as a slasher film. Yet she has this weird affiliation with Pennywise from It.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I know C to be true.
Okay.
I the other ones, that's where I'm kind of drawing the line there. I'm like, I'm not sure. They both sound viably possible. Because
So
your
either my
youngest,
middle child ran into the wall and dented her head and never even once cried, or all three of my kids' first words were fuck.
yeah, all of that seems kind of viable. But I think it's the fuck one. That's the lie.
Motherfucker. Yes, it is the lie. All right. Damn it. I thought I had you on that one. All right.
That's a close one. That's a close. It's just the only reason why is because like I've seen your middle daughter in action, like, and
She she's a
she's
brute.
she is she's the tank. Like if we were building like a fighting team, she's the tank. She put her in the armor. She's up front. She's ready to go.
Listen, I swear Ronda Rousey is still alive, but she is her reincarnated. Like she comes up running behind me, like choke slams me down to the ground. I can't do it with her. Like
Shh. I've
I
seen
don't have
video
the lung
footage of it.
capacity. I don't have the lung capacity to deal with her shenanigans any longer.
I understand.
I'm bruised in places that I didn't know bruised. Okay, all because of my middle child.
It happens. All
All
right.
right,
You ready? Sorry.
I
Here's my
am.
second one. This one is puke theme.
Blech.
Yeah, fun. My kid puked in my ear while at the dentist. One of my kids puked in the grocery store after trying a free sample. I once had to throw out an entire bed, frame and all, because of the amount of puke that was on
I'm gonna go with A.
it. You think A is the lie that a dentist I got puked on in my ear at the dentist?
Yes, I think that's the lie.
That is not the lie. That is true. My son, the dentist was like, "Here, hold him while I do his like first little checkup." And I was like, "Hey, you're like he's choking, like he's going, huh, he's hitting one of those. Like you got to stop." And the dentist's like, "Nah, trust me, I know." I'm like, "No, dude." And he's like, "Here," and he's like, he keeps going. And I'm like, "Dentist, I'm like, dude, you got to stop. Like you're making him gag." And he's like, bleh, pukes right in my fucking ear. That dentist disappeared. I
No
never saw him again. He just left. He as soon as that happened, by the time I sat up, that dentist had disappeared out of my line of sight. He's like,
bullshit. That oh my god.
yeah. The
Fuck that
the
guy.
Yeah, the lie was that a kid puked at the grocery store after trying a free sample. I could,
Really, because I thought that was the most true out of all of them.
yeah, no, I did actually also I had to throw away a bed one time because of the amount of puke that was on it. Yeah,
See, I can see that happening
it
because
was so
kids,
gross.
for some reason, are only like 3 feet tall, but can produce like 16 gallons of puke at a time.
It was just the amount of money that it would have cost me in cleaning supplies was less than what it would have cost me to buy a new bed.
Right? IKEA is pretty cheap these days.
Right. I was like, nope, 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 nope.
Even during this pandemic, IKEA still hasn't raised their prices since 1977. We've got this.
Right.
All right. This is the last ones that I have. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. One, my oldest child once pulled down the beard of a mall Santa, revealing that he was a fraud, which ended up ruining the next 12 children in line's day. From that day forward, our mall will only employ Santas with real beards, all because of my then 3-year-old. B, my middle child once ate a butterfly and asked why it tickled her throat so much when she swallowed, confirming to me that she didn't even chew it; she swallowed it whole. Or C, my youngest child once flew down a flight of steps head first, slamming into the wall at the bottom, creating an Acme like silhouette of a baby into the drywall.
I know which one's the lie on this one. And I cannot believe that those other ones are true.
Which one do you think is the lie?
I think A is the lie.
No.
No fucking way. A is true. Okay. So C's the lie.
Yes. Yes. I mean, she did slide down the stairs head first, and she did put a little hole in it, but it wasn't like an Acme style, like that's what I'm imagining.
Oh man, I was really for sure that A was the not truth there. Damn.
Yeah, no, and then, like, I can still feel the reaction, like, you know how whenever somebody tells you something, like, like, if their
Yeah.
head itches, you start scratching their head, like,
Mhm.
I can still feel what it feels like to swallow a whole butterfly, and it never even happened to me.
Yeah, that's that's
Traumatizing.
that
Traumatizing, to say the least, okay?
yeah, no, that is a rough one.
I've had nightmares from that, like, not to mention the nightmares of the 12 other children who realized that Santa was a fraud, but, you know.
Yeah,
That was
damn,
only for 1 year. That was
that's
only for
crazy.
1 year, because after that, all the Santas had real beards, so
All right. I mean, you set a precedent there.
I did. Alright, so we we were both 1 for 1. You have 1 more to go.
Okay. One of my kids peed on the other while they were doing baths. Uh, my child once peed in his own face, and this one is kind of a little bit of the outlier on this one. But my son punched himself in the face on our 3D ultrasound.
On your what?
When we were doing a 3D ultrasound, we watched our son punch himself in the face.
Oh my god, they all sound like truths. I'm gonna say B.
That my kid once peed in his own face. No, that's true. My
Damn it,
son,
see?
yeah, my son peed in his own face. You gotta, you have girls. You've never dealt with the fire hose. That's a
I
whole different ball
haven't.
game. That shit, that has a mind of its own, especially in that little kid stage. Like, yeah, he pissed right in his own face. I laughed so fucking hard. So funny. Because he's like, oh no, and he's like moving. He's on the changing table and he's like trying to get away from it, but he just keeps pissing in his own face. And I'm laughing way too fucking hard to help him out. He's just pissing in his own face.
Holy shit. I don't know what I would have done. I think I would have done the same thing, just laughed.
It was so funny. Oh, yeah. And then technically, so the way I worded this one wrong, it's actually he actually didn't. So the kid peeing on the other one while they were doing bass is the one that's not true. Uh, and tech
Really?
and technically the other one's not true because it's actually he actually kicked himself in the face. He didn't punch himself. He kicked
Okay.
himself in the face. But
So you were cheating.
I
You were
didn't
cheating on
I
this
didn't
one.
realize I was cheating. I wrote punched and then I read punched, but then I was telling the story. I'm like, he didn't punch himself.
You motherfucker. This was premeditated. Okay, everybody listening right now, Jason Quinn is a little cheater.
Yeah, but let's let it be known that you still didn't pick either one of the options that were my cheater options. So, meh. So
You're lucky you're stayed away from me.
yeah.
You're lucky I don't have a driver's license that's legal yet.
Just give you a couple of days and now just establishing like a knock on the door. Just
Listen, just a
I
few
know
more
you
days, I'm
lied
going to
about two
be
truths and a lie.
just a few more days, I'm going to be legal to drive. So, I still haven't found my van keys, but my husband has a car. I'll wait till he's off. I'll come down there with him. We'll both beat your ass. All right? You don't cheat with two truths and a lie. All right?
I didn't realize it was
Bitch.
so. I'm so sorry. This was fun. That was that was a fun game.
That was fun. I cannot believe some of the shit that I found out about your kids.
Yeah, no, and the kid, I have video footage somewhere of my son kicking himself in the face in that ultrasound. I have to find that because if so, I want to upload that one because it's so funny. I was just sitting there and he like you could see him, and it's like that weird like 3D version. So he like kicks himself in the face, and then he cries on the ultrasound from kicking himself in the face. And I so funny.
See,
Like
we never got the 3D ultrasound. We always got like the 2D ones. And like, I sort of got with all three of them. So, like, first off, the first one, when we go to find out the gender, the damn, uh, like, we went a half hour out of our way to go to this doctor's office. And we're waiting an hour and a half in there. And then finally, the doctor comes in and was like, oh, hey, by the way, the ultrasound tech just called off work. She's not coming in. Like, we're
ooh,
not going to find out today. So we have to leave. And then we come back, and my husband is already pissed off having to be there because he had to call off an extra day of work because obviously it's our first child. He wants to be
right,
there to find out.
right.
So he's off in the corner, and the doctor comes in thinking he's going to be all funny and shit. He's like, nobody puts baby in a corner like that to my husband. And my husband looks up at him and looks straight back down to his phone. And the gynecologist looked at me as like, all right, well, we're not ready for joking today, but I hope we're ready to find out what kind of baby we're having. And I
Yeah,
was like,
right.
yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Bro, I could see Adam be just like seething in the corner, just like, yeah, don't fucking tell jokes, motherfucker.
You
Like I'm
know,
just like I already like I am having like clearly I already thought we'd be done with this. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'd be pissed too. Well,
Luckily, we didn't have a fucking gender reveal party planned out, so we didn't have to cancel anything or anything like that. We didn't have one of those.
I don't know if we did one for I think we did one for our first kid. I know we did a couple, I don't know. We did one or two or something. I don't know. I'm not
Who
incredibly
doesn't know? What
I
kind
don't
of father are you?
I don't I remember cuz I have 6 kids, dude.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right.
I have 6 kids. I don't remember how many of them we did with all the birthdays and baby showers and gender reveals and all of the things that I've gone through in the last year. I'm sure we've missed one or two for a
I
kid
got you.
here and there. And
I got you.
I don't even know. I don't know. It's just at a certain point, you're just like, your whole brain is like, it's just marshmallows up here. We're just doing the best. We're just like
That's
I
all
feel like
right.
every day I there's a moment in time where I feel like that like moment where Squid or where SpongeBob forgot everything except for his name and Find Dimate. And he's like, come
I
on,
just
people.
I just watched that yesterday. Listen, when my daughter like split her lip open and I had to go to the hospital real quick and I took her to the emergency room and they asked me what her birthday was, I just blurted out a date and it didn't even make sense because it would have made my 4-year-old like 18 months old at the
Hey,
time.
you know
And
what?
like I didn't even notice. I just blurted out a random date and then they're like, "Are you sure about that?" And I looked at her and I was like, uh uh like I was crying and I was
Oh
panicking
yeah.
and then this was like really freaking me out because I was like these people are going to think that I stole this child. Like I had
Sure.
to really get this right and I was like she was born here. Like she was born here. This is her name. Uh and then I got it right. And they're like, "Oh, okay. Yep, we have her in our system. Yep, we can see when she was here last time." I was like, "Fuck yeah. All
Yeah, if
right,
they could
mom of the
just put a
year."
little scanner on them, you know what I mean? So that we didn't have to
Right.
memorize all that shit all the time.
Like start tagging them like we do
Yeah.
our dogs.
Just like a quick one. Oh, hey, look, we got you. Looks like this. I'm not being serious. But
I kind of
God,
am.
I
I kind of am.
maybe
I'm
a
ready to start
bracelet.
tagging my kids.
Maybe a bracelet. You know what I mean? Give it a bracelet just for the medical stuff at least. And anything that I have to like remember, you know what I mean? And like, please, oh man, I'm so tired of remembering things for my kids. There's so much.
Like their best friend's name because their
Oh,
best friend changes like every fucking day.
oh, dude, I'm pretty sure my oldest son is like 9 best friends away from what I think his best friend is. You know,
Really.
yeah, I think we're way past then. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. As I'm talking to you right now, if somebody had a gun to my head and I had to name one of my kids' friends right now, I don't think I could do it.
No.
I do
See,
not think.
I only have one child in school, okay? And there's this one kid that she talks about. I'm not going to say her name on here, but every time she talks about her, she is doing something bad. And she's like, that's my best friend. And I'm like, it better fucking not be. Like,
We better change that. We better
we better
establish
not
some new
fucking be
things.
friends with this kid, okay? Because mom is going to have to beat her ass and go to jail or something because this is not happening. We can't be friends with her, okay? Like, I'm sorry. And like every day she's coming home with stuff cut out of her clothing and like stuff like that. And she's like, oh, this person told me to do it and I did it. And I was like, mm.
Yeah, I had a kid who had a friend. One of my kids had a friend like that at one point in time, and I just was done with this kid. I was like, you're such a bad influence on my kid. Like, why? Like, she was the sweetest. Like, it was my daughter and her friend, and she was the sweetest little girl. At like always nice to everybody, and then my daughter started just being mean to people, and I'm like, whoa, this is not you. And she's like, well, this is, and I'm like, well, this is done. Like, we're not.
Yeah,
Like, I can't deal with that anymore. And
no.
but she made some adjustments and stuff, but like it just whew, I understand that frustration because I know what it's like to deal with that.
Yeah.
And it's
But, like,
tough.
then again, like, the stories I've heard about her, like, I feel bad for the kid
Right.
because, like, she's talking
Yep.
about how, like, she doesn't get much sleep because she's always awakened by her brother and stuff like that, and she's always, like, falling asleep in class and stuff like that, and I'm like, I feel bad for the kid, but also I don't like her. Like
I know it's such a fucking thin line we have to walk all the time. But it is what it is.
It is
Eh,
what it is. We gotta let our kids make their own choices, especially when it comes to friends, and we gotta keep our mouths shut.
It's
Like,
hard. It's hard. It's hard, but
we gotta give them advice
yeah.
and stuff like that, but telling our kids what to do just never fucking works. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what I tell my kids to do, they always do the opposite. So,
Oh yeah, for
if I
sure.
tell her that she's not allowed to be friends with this girl, like, of course she's gonna continue to be friends with this girl. But,
Mhm.
like, if I, like, am giving her advice, like, "You know what? I remember when I had a friend that used to do this type of stuff, and then
Right.
I started doing it, and I started getting in trouble a lot more, so when I realized that I wasn't hanging around her so much, I wasn't getting in trouble as much,
Right.
like, dropping in little hints here and there,
Mhm.
like, one of these days she's gonna get it."
That's kind of how it worked with my daughter. I was able to talk a little bit here and there, tell her like little things like, "Hey, that's not how we do things and you know that." And maybe she
Right.
doesn't know that. And maybe she wasn't and maybe somebody didn't teach her that that's not how we do things, but you do know. And you know how to teach people things. And so then it's like, okay, and so it made her a little more proactive in the situation, and she was able to kind of
That's
finagle it
good.
around and make some, hopefully make some positive impacts in that kid's life. But time only tells, I guess, on that one. But
Yeah,
anyway, I think we're running out of time here on this episode.
we are.
But it has been a fun episode. I've
For
enjoyed it.
sure, I had an absolute fucking blast.
Oh, so much fun. I laughed a lot. It was good times.
I
If
did, my cheeks actually hurt, like and I have to get your address because I'm gonna show up at your house and beat your ass here in a few
I
days, so
am not giving you my address. There is no way you're coming here, son. Act like act like I'm offended. Act like I'm not doing it.
Listen, I'm only 100 pounds, but I took karate and jujitsu. I motherfucking kick your ass, all right?
And guess what? I may be 250 pounds, but I am non-confrontational. I think this shirt says this hoodie says discover yourself through inner peace. Okay. That's where I'm at. So I am not trying to catch a ass beating today. I
All
don't.
right, I respect that. I'll respect that then.
So,
Listen, to
you know,
anybody listening right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, definitely like and subscribe and hit the little button there so that you're, you know, advised whenever we release a new episode. Also, if you're listening to us on like Apple Music, Google, Spotify, whatever, make sure to rate us a good rating
and
because we definitely want to add some more people here, build our community, and
yeah,
start shit talking more about our kids.
and if we can really get that, like get these ratings up there, let's get on to the main podcasting platforms as far as like the rating system. Let's get on there. Let's get this motherfucker ranked. You know what I
Really.
mean? so that
Definitely.
so that we can, start reaching as high an audience as we can and just normalize that it is okay to be stressed by your little asshole kids.
And it's
And
okay to talk shit about your little shits.
yep. And that's what we are here for. And if you love this podcast, make sure you subscribe every fucking where. If you like me, you can find me on TikTok at Mr. Jason Quinn. If you like Mama Chaos, you can find her on
At
TikTok.
at mama.chaos on TikTok. Also, if you want to email us your stories so that we can read them on the air, our email is likemindsdm@gmail.com. That is D as in down with the sickness, and M as in Mama Chaos is a fucking freak. All right. So,
What? Okay. 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 And
all right.
if you collectively like the two of us and you want to follow all of our amazing projects we're working on together, you can find us at _minds on TikTok. Tune in next Monday for another episode of Little Shits and Giggles.
Little shits and giggles. Listen to us.